What's up, guys? It's me, Elise. It's been a long time since I posted a vid with all these exams and uni projects, but now that my first year of uni is done, we have arrived. After a grueling regular season, we are here for the Stanley Cup playoffs of round one, and tonight we have four games that should be incredibly good, but not without some flaws. So without further ado, let's jump right into the games. The first playoff match we have on is Boston taking on Carolina. They've seen each other a few times. The most recent one in the bubble, it was a disaster as Boston prevailed in 6 games, and they did it without Tuukka Rask, but they're gonna have to do it now with Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayam, who've been pretty good in net, but not consistent. For the Hurricanes, they've had great season. They won the Jennings Trophy. They had the best defense, thanks to a revived Frederick Andersen and an Ante Ranta who's been pretty good number two. But some remember I told you about Frederick Andersen's injury concerns and injury history? Well, it came at the wrong time. Andersen, if you guys do not remember what happened to Andersen, he got injured during that Carolina Hurricanes versus Colorado game in Denver. He got injured, and unfortunately he hasn't been playing since. So fingers crossed he plays in the series. So it'll be Ante Ranta between the pipes, and on the other side it'll be Ian Solmark. So this will be an intense series, and we'll see if the Carolina. The next playoff matchup is my Leafs versus the two-time Stanley Cup champ Bolts. Now people have been saying about Tampa Bay they've won the Cups because of shortened seasons. And to be honest, they have. In the bubble last few years ago, then in a short 56-game season. Now, the opponents they beat were Columbus, Boston, Dallas, and Islanders. They defeated Islanders twice in the semifinals. And then a few years ago, they defeated the Bolts, the Hurricanes, and then they defeated the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this year, the last time they played in a full regular season playoff game was a sweep against Columbus. So hopefully they remember that. But Tampa Bay doesn't have any expectations. Toronto has bigger expectations. They set the record for most wins in a season, most points this season. Gamble's been great the last few games since coming back from that rib injury he suffered during one of those games where he had faltered behind. So the only thing Toronto needs is can they get over that hump? It's been a few years. It's been tough. They had a chance last year. Disaster. They brought in D-Core Mark Giordano, who's been amazing. Can Toronto get over the hump? It will be the question. And they'll have to do it without Michael Bunting for the first few games, because he still has that lower body injury. The good news is Kasha might come back, who's been great. Congratulations. They brought in players for a reason. But will they prevail against a top Tampa team? Only one way to find out. The next third matchup is on the west side, and it's a rematch between the Blues and the Wild. These two teams were very familiar in the playoffs. 2015, Minnesota won in 6. A few years later, St. Louis in 5. The biggest difference is goaltending. The Blues are going to be starting Ville Husso in the first round, and on the other side, while it could be Cam Talbot, who's been great, or it could be Montgomery Floyd for veteran presence. But this Wild team is very interesting. Caprasoro's been amazing. Their depth's been incredible. Ryan Hartman's been great. D's been somewhat mixed, good and bad. But this team screams of a first round exit. However, Cam Talbot's been playing great in the last few years of the playoffs. He can help this team take the next step. For the Blues, they're trying to get a first round series win. They haven't done that since winning the Cup. So basically, one of these two teams will get over the hump. But will it be St. Louis or will it be Minnesota? Only time will tell. And then our final matchup, Oilers versus the Kings. These two teams are really different directions. The Kings, after mostly dismantling their core, have still produced some pretty good years. And this is a surprise that this California team has made the playoffs. Because we were expecting Vegas, but we will not talk about that because that team collapsed at the worst possible time. The Kings have depth. Kempe's been great. Arvidsson's been awesome. The acquisition, Danault, he's been on fire. He's been on fire as a scorer and veteran presence. But they also have veteran presence. Kopitar, the Dustin Brown, who's going to retire after the season. The Kings are an intriguing team. They can go far or they can collapse. But the Edmonton Oilers, they need to get over the hump. They haven't won a series since that deep run into Game 7 of the Ducks series in 2017. Can they do that? You can't just have McDavid Draisaitl take the whole hump. Someone needs to step up. But what will we get from goaltending on the other side? Are we get the Mike Smith of the regular season or the Mike Smith of the last few games? Only one will find out. So here you go. 4 intriguing matchups with a lot on the line. Game 1 set to go. Game 1 is the most important one, but we've seen comebacks happen in different ways. So enjoy today's playoffs, and we'll see you on the next one.
has won the game! The Leafs win it in overtime! What a save by Bobrovsky! Ovechkin scores! A cannonading drive! Point, had to go to the backhand, he scores! They score! Kucherov! Marchand, he scores!